myself, just my continuing personal video diaries. I'll drop something.
I'm always losing things.
Which is a good, it's making sure I record everything. I write down on my thoughts. It's a good way to remember where I've left things that I've misplaced in the past. I've completely forgotten about it. In fact, those who once, knew me or thought they knew me, even sometimes compared me to maybe that Memento movie, the guy who had no short-term memory. And well, he used tattoos to write down his, interesting thoughts, just so he would remember. He could go back and read them over. For me, I prefer a little bit of technology. So, riding the bus today. I know where's your bus? I'm still waiting for it. Number 15, downtown Shreveport. And recording here today. Well, the truth is actually that my truck wouldn't stop. As I am wont to do, as I normally do, I stopped at the Circle K.
Metro 2 is now loading to Broadmoor Bay. Metro 2 is now loading to Broadmoor Bay.
There's a lot of noise here. But since I haven't ridden a bus in so many years, perhaps it's normal. What do the wise men say? That the only constant is change. It's true. Anyway, I'm grateful that I've got Tristan's dad, my little one's father, Guillermo Villalba. He's gonna help me out of this bind. He said he'd go get the truck that's broken down. He's got his friends, his mechanics that have helped him in the past. With my old beat up cars, that's all I could afford, but they usually get me from point A to point B. So I'm not really worried about it. After all, I do have the promise of him. Oh, that actually wasn't recording at all. I only got the first 2 minutes. It's my gut, sometimes it hits the button. Oh well, I guess all that past stuff was never even recorded at all. But it's all the same to me, whether it's recorded or not. It's just talking. I love to talk and write. Even just talking to the air. It's like my religion. It is my religion. It's my form of what you could refer to as prayer or some variation thereof concept. And in my culture, there's freedom. There's freedom to pray in public, no matter where you are, in private, in public. You don't hide. My culture, I do not hide. It's natural for my culture to not hide. My smile, my weird expressions. I wish I'd looking in the mirror. see if I can make myself real. And it was a laugh game I used to play with a few different little, what I thought were friends of mine way back in the day. And it was that game, like, no matter what you do, you can't laugh. The first to laugh, and then you have to get more detailed and say, what about smiling? Smiling is, the way I played it, that was okay. Usually okay. But, and you would take turns back and forth trying to make the other one laugh. And if you laugh, you lose. So you get really good at, just holding in your laughter. Because everybody knows that's the mark of a really bad comedian. The one that laughs at his own jokes, It kind of ruins it. You're not supposed to laugh at your own jokes. Which I do, see, I'm not a comedian. If I was a real comedian, then I wouldn't be fucking laughing at my own corny, stupid jokes. And if I were a comedian, I would have a payroll. I would have a salary, a paycheck. I would have an agenda that was given to me. I would have shows. I would have I'd be on stage. I'd be an employee of something. I would definitely, you know, have a social security number that existed and a birth certificate that was able to be produced of a new copy now. Let's find a copy, not an old dog-eared, which would be like a fraud document, allegedly, hypothetically, wouldn't it? Unless you didn't know, you just always had that or found it. There would have to be, you know, intent. There would have to be knowledge. That would have to be proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that you had the knowledge. There would have to be hard evidence, nothing circumstantial, and certainly nothing on a personal device, a notebook, etc., etc., that was unlawfully seized without proper warrant, etc., checks and balances at the timestamp, at the date that it was seized and not altered. So you can't do the, you know, the little, just change the numbers around a little bit. You can't do the fuzzy logic, the fuzzy math, you know, like the fuzzy videos. It's kind of a joke that only makes sense in the Chinese. Kind of like Pope jokes. Pope jokes, for me, they're not funny at all, unless they are told in Chinese, Mandarin Chinese specifically. In Mandarin Chinese, Pope jokes, I used to roll laughing back in the hypothetical non-existent day, where there was a non-existent hypothetical person, allegedly so, that was referred to as Fei Lao Shi, and Fei Lao Shi was the best comedian, you know, ever. I thought she was, you know, as if she was in a teaching position, you know, to teach students whatever, you know, language perhaps. But she, I would say, it would, like, let's just say it was just little old me, little young me, little teenager me, just a little teenager back then. It's a little thing. Not that little though, but still smaller than I am now. Like everybody, all the other students in the class would just be like, ugh, they don't, what is this thing the Fei Lao Shi and the Su Manqiu do, you know, because she's like, please don't, you know, we speak in Mandarin, you know, it's so good. 交黄 over there, the 开玩笑, I want to 开玩笑 about the 交黄. And she would, and she'd tell me other jokes too, that, and what would Su Manqiu do? Now Fei Lao Shi wouldn't even laugh, because she would smile real big, she was hilarious, but she was a good comedian, and the good comedians do not laugh, even though for them it's hilarious, because they get so used to its training, you know, because, you know, every comedian that starts out, well, according to, you know, all the ones I've heard, they always say, just get on the stage, the first time always sucks, like you're gonna flop, they're probably not gonna laugh, they may boo you off stage, but the difference between the ones that make it and the ones that don't, right, they say, are the ones that keep getting back on the stage, keep trying, because you get better and better and better. It's like being in a crucible of sorts, you know, the fire, it's like, or is it like the pearl, like the pearl of great price that's formed in an oyster, the constant irritation, or it could even be like perhaps like a virus, but bacteria, even an organism, the pressure, the selection pressure, this produces adaptation, which in some contexts actually be called like mutation. It's the extreme pressure, it's the forging of the blade, like burnished brass, you know, like hair like lamb's wool, and feet like burnished brass, like I am Martin Luther King Jr. You know, that kind of thing. I am Malcolm X kind of thing, you know, kind of gives you chills, because there's different kind of, there's a shaking when you get excited in different ways. There's different to get excited. One could be, you know, sexual excitation. Somebody gets turned on. So they're like hee, and they're shaking because they're really, really super turned on. They have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and they just, they want to engage in their activities that they like. They love it. But on the other hand, fear can and does produce extreme fear. Produces the same exact, could mimic that level of excitation. In fact, I had experience with a so-called hypothetical whatever thing back in the day. Nobody's around, nobody would ever hear this anyway. With a Cynthia Marie Sutherland sort of set up as a mother figure surrogate thing for me. And the scariest thing about the lady was that when she was raging, when she was super angry, it smiled. It was like, and the more it beat you, and the more it humiliated you, and beat you down, I know what you're thinking. I can't even do it right. I can't even. It puts its eyebrow, because its eyebrows are different than mine. Its eyebrows go like this. It goes like, hey. It goes like this, and the mouth goes. And the hands are shaking. Yeah, it's kind of like this. But I can't even do it because her eyebrows are like dark black and like holy shit, that happens. That happens. And it's it was a family secret. But I would talk about it, and that was a no-no. You're supposed to have the Stockholm syndrome thingy-ish. But I was the one that from the newer edition. Yeah, the one always reading strange foreign material. That's foreign. You're not allowed to have foreign. They used to call me stupid names like Amanda. Amanda likes foreign men. Amanda, we found the Chinese characters written in red. She would say, "Commie." She'd say, "Commie, you're a commie. Lesbian bastard, you're commie, you're red commie, you're Chinese, you're Russian, you got your militia, you're a hacker, you're on the internet, the devil's, you're the Antichrist." And it's like scary, and its eyes, I can't even do it. It is like, that's a poor imitation of how terrifying it is. And the thing about the family secret is that, all those things about Cynthia Sutherland, they say those about me, and to a degree, there is some similarity there. If I'm extremely pressed up against a wall, especially if I'm protecting innocent children or pets from harm, I'm on alert. Oh, you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna come through there. I stand firm. But what family secret, etc., these select few that know the real Cynthia Sutherland, they've conveniently forgot, because I'm the nice one. I'm the nicest one out of all of them. And the reason why everyone lies to protect the Cynthia, from what it turns into, because it becomes something other than what you would think. Ooh, it's like the dragon. It's like a switch. All of a sudden it's really happy, but it's really upset. And it knows what you're thinking, even though you didn't do that. I know you ate my bowling ball. It's like, and it's like, give it what it wants, but you can't run, and then you wait for that to get over, because it eventually, its head screws back on straight. Eventually, if after you've taken so much abuse and you've rolled over like a little puppy. Okay, don't hurt me anymore. And then what does it do? It provides you with gifts. Little basket of gifts. It does. You will receive a gift. I will say it was sorry. Whatever it was that happened, that it will never specifically remember, but there was an issue that you're never allowed to bring up, and you must accept it's sorry every time, and you must forgive it, and it will press you. And it's very sweet, and it's penitent. There'll be little tears coming down, a lot of tears sometimes. They'll be reading the Bible. I'm sorry, I just it'll say sorry, it'll apologize, no, over and over again. But the pattern never ceases year after year. So, because I always played the game kind of thing, try to stay out of his way. But the difference between me and everybody else that had experience with the real, or whatever, maybe that was the fake Cindy, whichever one is the real thing, real power of the Cindy. Was I was the only one that was never afraid of it. And that right there was scary to everybody. That one's not afraid, it's gonna get us, you know. We gotta jump on that one, yes. Yes, Cindy, we'll do whatever you say. Just make sure you deflect the monster's rage onto, guess what? The lightning rod, lightning rod of hate, whatever thingy from the improv guy thingy, yeah, the bald guy. Yeah, I used to like that show too. Anyway, whatever. The black guy was the best though. I mean, I love that there's a tall white guy. He was sensitive about his nose, but whatever. And then there was the other guy sensitive about his forehead. But the reason why in my opinion, the black guy was the best. I mean, he was good looking guy and everything. Nothing could get his goat. He didn't have the nose issue. He didn't have the bald head. Whatever he had, he didn't give a fuck. So you couldn't actually, you'd never get a reaction. He was deadpan. He was perfect, you know. It was, you could say anything to him. You couldn't get his goat, you know, and there's some select few that understand what that means. What does it mean to, some of us have been through the gauntlet. Some of us have been through the ringer. It's a dead ringer. It's a hazing. It's a no girls allowed. There's no whores allowed here. There's no girls, you know, that kind of thing. It's just what was I talking about? Buildings around here. There's a lot of overlapping words in English and others. No, it's building is like stacking bricks, like masonry, like a mason jar. Mason jar. Drink a pint, whatever. Is that a pint? What's the measure? It's exactly a pint. Mason jar pint. Peter Piper picked a peck of. Oh, what's a peck really? Is that fit into into a bushel basket? Is it 4 pecks? Is it 4 pecks? Or is it 8 pecks? Is it a pick? What if it's a pick? What if it's a spick? Is that a different? Is that a little? Is it a schmidgen? A schmudgen? Is it a schmeckle? Or is that schmeckle? I don't know what that is. It's schmear. You smear it. You smear. You gotta smear it with a bagel with a schmear. But you go if you're the guy that wants a bagel with a schmear on it, you go to California to a coffee shop and you ask for, first of all, an egg bagel. At the time, let's say this was back in the day, an egg bagel. That's the flavor. Well, I didn't ever consider that would be available because it didn't fit with the culture at that time, at that place, for that particular person. I never heard necessarily of an egg bagel, and if they did, that would sound unappetizing. It's sort of like the cheese concept for certain Asian, Orient, certain over Eastern, whatever, depends on your perspective, relative. What is cheese? You know, Cheetos, I'm sure, you know, there's some, because there's different peoples, even though, like, for instance, they would call it, like maybe Indochina, or China, whatever. There's all these, they have their own, what they call them, accents, or regions, or phenotypes even. Because they're actually all what? They're actually each one of those tiny little groups with their own little language and their own particular culture, their own food. They like, this one likes cheese. It's logical for them. They love it. It's just their food. The other ones are like, dear God, what is that? Shit, it's disgusting. It's rotted. It's fermented what? But they're thinking the same thing about their shrimp paste and can't eat that. And then this one, well, they're a different color from us. They have strange ritual. They go to a different shaped building on a different day. They have, these are all. You could call them autonomies. Different countries, even, kind of thing. Oh, it is 1:38 p.m. I like to update the timestamp when I go long. Sometimes I go long, go monologuing. It is 11/7/2016, so November 7th, 2016, which is actually the real birthday of my biological father. The actual biological, this is back to there's the mitochondrial, etc., concept back to it, and then there's the biological, the actual, who stuck it in and who, you know, blew a wad, you know, and then out popped the kind of factor, regardless of how it actually happened. There's the, you know, what do they do on the, like, the Maury Povich and who's the baby daddy, that test, the one you can get at the CVS or the Walgreens, like where Mike Eby works. Well, you can call him my ex. We used to date. And since nobody's listening and I wouldn't want to shame the poor man, he seemed like a really nice guy, you know, in every way, shape and form. I really had nothing negative to say about him, just other than the fact that after every date of him unloading all his problems on me, and not only that, he thought I was funny, and a lot of people do. That's not unusual. But the thing that he told me, he confided to me, was that he's always the one among all of his friends that has to listen to all their bitching, and they think he's the joker. They think he's funny, and he never thinks they're funny at all. So going out with me was like, what, a real treat? It was like a real treat or something like that. After, like, what was it, 6-7 dates, we eventually did, you know, I gave him a chance, you know, I thought he seemed so decent, he thinks I'm funny, he's a good looking guy, he considerate, thoughtful, insists on paying for stuff though. I was always protesting, insisting on financing things, and so I have to keep things balanced. So, and I kept telling him, well, the next time, please let me pay, just to keep things balanced, because I didn't know if we were going to work out as a couple, and it was pretty much, you know, up in the air. So, because absolute insistence on paying, and like, he kind of reminded me of me in a certain ways. So I'd make up for it. I'd find out what coffee he likes. Now I messed up the first time. So he was like, I don't like coffee. Well, I love coffee, so sometimes if you introduce something in different ways, if they want to try it, obviously, my thing is, well, it don't look good, Mike, you smell it, you don't like it, then don't try it. But he was such a good sport. I was like, I brought him the little creamers and the sugars for him to do it however the way he wanted it, and because I have mine the way I like it, you know. And he did taste it was just a Circle K coffee, which is recorded, and in fact, the coffee, etc., the location, that's all actually also recorded as well. Everywhere it was taken, and anything that would have been done to it would have had to have been done by Circle K. Certainly not I, for this ironclad. Anyway, that's just note to self. That's a little tangent. I don't know if that'll work in this book, story, or whatever. Creative project, ongoing, forever, my culture. Anyway, he didn't like it. So, I felt bad about that, because being a Virgo, see, and I switch on. For me, things are not linear. This is, pause that, pin in that thought. Today is my real biological father's birthday. Okay, just between me and the computer. I don't want that guy over there to hear. His real name is what? Well, it's not even like the real name. What is Andrei Lev? The mitochondrial identical twin to one Yuri Lev, which is also old acquaintance, friend, etc., whatever you want to call it, ish thing of mine. But it was only through the internet. We never actually, well, to my knowledge, I would have never known if I had met him in person, but as far as anybody could ever think to hope about proving that I'd never met him in person. Which is funny, because the language is funny. See, I laugh because it's like funny language. If I had to give the language a name, like collectively, like, yeah, all the world languages, all of the Homo sapiens. Anyway, because I used to love the Dr. Dolittle shows from the Rex Harrison, and also the Eliza Doolittle thing, which is also with Rex Harrison. And Dr. Dolittle, it was the same thing, wasn't it? Kind of, who knows? It was actors. It was Audrey Hepburn and stuff in the Breakfast at Tiffany's. I said a word around Breakfast at Tiffany's. Anyway, so back to Andrei Lev, the actual biological father. The actual one that, stuck his thing into that thing that generated, was an incubator for my person, or non-person, as whatever hypothetical ish you might call it, he's known as Vladimir Putin, the Tsar or whatever of Russia. Say, like, isn't that special? I know that's why it's a secret, and that's why it's just for me, like a thing. Oh, it's confirmed by DNA. Oh, that's because I sent him letters. What's the only father I could have ever hoped to have, So, sent him letters. Yeah, I did send a silly letter. The first one was just to catch his attention, because I've been called, like, what, an attention something, but I would never associate the latter word that's been said about me to myself ever, because that's just 100% unlike me in any way, shape, or form on any level. There ain't none of that in my blood. See? Blood. There ain't none of that in my blood. I want to drink. I want to blah, blah, blah. There's people listening now, so be quiet. They don't get my brand of humor, and they're not allowed, they're unauthorized to be eavesdropping and listening in. Therefore, I wait. That's enough for now. 1:45 p.m., November 7th, 2016, deep in the heart of Freeport, Louisiana. An ambassador, the last of my kind, other than my 3 treasures of the world. The only things I'll give them, things I have ever loved.